week on Yuba-Sutter.LIVE, lots of live streams, beginning with Government Watch. At 9 a.m. Tuesday, the Yuba Water Agency's regular meeting. Then at 6 o'clock Tuesday, Marysville City Council, and the 6 o'clock Tuesday Yuba City Council meetings, with lots of important items on the agenda. Government Watch, presented as a public service by
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. It's the truth that comes through.
Recording in progress.
Call the meeting to order. Mandy, will you take roll?
Director Vasquez?
Here.
Director House?
Here.
Director Fuhrer?
Yes.
Director Bishop?
Here.
Director Bradford?
Here.
Director Matthews?
Here.
Director Messick?
Here. Thank you. Gary, would you lead the pledge?
Sure. Please stand. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mandy, would you read the policy on public comment?
Public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to address the Board of Directors on any subject matter that is not on the meeting agenda and is within board subject matter jurisdiction. Public comment periods are limited to 3 minutes per person, and the total amount of time for public comment is 15 minutes. Persons participating by way of video conference or teleconference shall ensure their audio is muted at all times except when the board chair announces public comment periods. At those designated times, members of the public wishing to speak shall enable their audio and state their name for the record. When multiple members of the public wish to speak, the clerk will determine the order of speakers and announce their names accordingly. To ensure proper conduct, the board reserves the right to mute the audio and video of any member of the public violating generally accepted principles and decorum of official public meeting.
Thank you, Mandy. So I have some cards here. So we'll start with Chris Sturgeon.
Morning, everyone. Name's Chris Sturgeon, operating engineer. 30-year member with the union, local county, and we're here today just to offer any and all support. 2,100 members local here, 40,000 out of our 4-state jurisdiction. If you have any questions at all, at our office, we left cards with you guys. Just want to. So we just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Chris. Next, I have Chuck Adamson.
Good morning, board. Appreciate the chance to get up here and say hello to everybody. My name is Chuck Adamson, lifelong town resident, 27-year member of operating engineer. Local operators. Have over 40,000. Way that we can skilled and trained operators. Oroville spillway recovery.
Thanks very much, Chuck. Sean Radford.
Scotty, let me know if I'm not, I'm pretty loud anyway. So first of all, I'd like to thank the chair and the board for allowing me to speak on this matter. My name is Sean Radford. I'm the president of Labor's Local 185. I'm also the vice president of the Mid-Valley Building Trades here locally in Marysville. The hardworking men and women of the laborers have proudly been a part of rebuilding our community since 1929. We have the skilled and trained workforce already in place. Our members, the men and women of the laborers, they're ready to go. We've proven that we're the professionals, from the Oroville spillway recovery to the campfire in Paradise and too many devastating fires locally. The Good job for one of our partner union employers. Who can at one call mobilize on site with as many. Appreciate the opportunity to speak, and thank you. Looking forward to helping you guys out with this project.
Thanks very much, Sean. Mandy, do we have any virtual comments?
Let me check. If you have virtual comment, please raise your hand. There is none. We do have one more public comment from Jackie Silman.
Okay.
Good morning, Chairman Bishop and board. I wanted to take just a few minutes to, and I didn't want to cry, but thank you for the last 6 years. It's been amazing. So I am retiring after 45 years working in this community. You know, I live, work, and play here, and what a joy to see my community rising. And I wanted just to take the time and also share that I wasn't sure I wanted to, you know, where to end my career. But I will tell you, the day that Terry Daly and I connected was the day I knew that I wanted to end my career right here at Yuba-Water because of all the things that they do. The staff, second to none, the communications team, the HR team, everybody that works here, and I know you know this because you hear it, but I want you to know it from the community. I want you to know it from my heart that this has just been a joy to work. We are calling not retirement, we're calling it Jackie 2.0 because I'll still be involved, I'll still be out there, I'll still be helping with Bill. But I just, again, I wanted with my heart to thank you all and I hope to see you out in the community. And Willie, of course, a joy to work with you for sure. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Jackie. And I think I can speak for the rest of the board in thanking you for the work you've done, not just for Yuba-Water, but for all of your other employers over the years and in your volunteer capacity. And I'm sure we'll continue to see much of you around the community. So thank you for what you've done. Any further public comment? I don't have any slips. I see none. We're going to move on to the consent agenda. Is there any public comment on that? I see none, so I would entertain a motion on the consent.
Move to approve. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion item number 3, update and review of emergency contracting actions concerning the Colgate Penstock Incident and board determination that there is a need to continue the emergency action under Public Contract Code Section 22050, Subdivision C2. Willie.
Morning, board members. I'm Willie Whittlesey, General Manager of the Yuba-Water Agency. I'd like to give an update on the Colgate Penstock incident. It's been 18 days since the incident. It's been an absolute whirlwind, but I think we're doing pretty well here. The best bit of news is the contractor that was significantly injured as part of the incident. We were made aware late last week that he has been released from the hospital and is now home. That is the absolute best news, and every piece of information we're getting from his recovery was uplifting to staff, and we're happy that he made it home and is recovering at home. Everything I'm going to show you in the next several slides is in coordination with our partners, whether it's the local community, the board, yourselves, resource agencies, environmental groups, and our staff. Everything has been in coordination with our partners, and I want to thank the community for their support. It's absolutely beneficial having a community that understands what you do, understands the significance of the incident you have at hand, and supports you through the incident. Okay, so we declared an emergency at our last board meeting. The county subsequently declared an emergency at their board meeting last Tuesday. And the emergency allows the agency to request state and federal disaster assistance funds in the future if needed. So today on this agenda item, you will get a presentation from me on the update, but you'll also vote to continue that emergency. Okay, first I'll talk about the geotechnical assessments. I want to be very clear. The geotechnical assessments are nowhere near done. Shortly after the incident, we had consulting geologists go to the site primarily to assess the extent of damage and to determine a way to make it safe to access. That work will be ongoing. They have determined that it was safe to access the Lake Francis Road on foot. So we have hiked into the powerhouse, and I'll get to that in a subsequent slide. But there is a significant effort ongoing to analyze the site and really understand the long-term implications of the erosion that occurred as part of the water release. So a little over a week after the incident, we were able to get into the powerhouse and do an initial assessment of the condition of the powerhouse. I want to be very clear, this is just the powerhouse and not the penstock and not the hill slope above the penstock and not the incident break area. That's still unstable and unable to be accessed for a thorough review. A cursory aerial review has been done, and we have done some minor work to divert water at the incident break site itself, but no significant assessment has been done by Yuba Water Agency staff at that location. The good news is our initial review of the powerhouse is the damage could have been much worse. There isn't sediment and debris that permeated through the exterior cans of the generators. The generators are generally dry. They're definitely more humid than we would like, but they didn't get inundated with sediment. That's great news. When you walk through, there's 3 levels. 3 elevations in the powerhouse. When you walk through the powerhouse, we're not talking about having to trudge through, feet of mud or walking on top of mud. There is some seepage coming through the sediment that was deposited on top of the powerhouse, but it's relatively minor. My estimate is 5 to 10% of the floor area of the powerhouse has some mud material on it, but it's not deep and it's just seeped in through various penetrations in the roof and the walls. The digital equipment, the control room, it's all intact. We were pleasantly surprised. However, the upper part of the powerhouse, the exterior part, is inundated with sediment deposition. So transformers, switchgear, access, we're talking anywhere from 3 to 10 feet of sediment deposited on those areas. So although everything looks to be intact, we can't really assess the condition of things like transformers and breakers and even the mounting equipment of that, because we need to remove that debris and get a full assessment. But just from the exterior, it didn't look like we had major movement of transformers or breakers or switchgear. So all of that is relatively good news. However, it will be a significant effort to remove that sediment, test all of the powerhouse equipment, further inspect for damage. But the initial assessment was positive. Okay, so we sent out a request for a proposal to 7 different civil type construction contractors. We received proposals a little over a week ago. We awarded this road work to repair Lake Francis Road last Tuesday, and the contractor mobilized to the site on Thursday. Here's some pictures of that effort. The first effort is to simply get 4x4 pickup truck access. The road is damaged in 2 primary locations. They currently have the first or the uppermost location repaired, so you can travel it in a pickup truck. The second location is a little further damaged. It's more significant than the first location, and that'll take a couple more days to get 4-wheel drive access through there, but we're hoping by the end of the week we have that. That will allow us to get to the site or get to the plant on a regular basis with 4-wheel drive pickup trucks. The road work will likely extend from there with a more detailed geotechnical design to, over time, widen it out and get it back to the width and profile that we had, pre-incident. Okay, so now I'll talk about environmental response. Our collaboration and work with California Department of Fish and Wildlife has been great. They showed up, like I reported at the last board meeting, the Sunday after the incident. We have been in unified command with California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and that has been working out really well. The effort on the surface of Englebright Reservoir has gone off as good as it possibly could. We have done water sampling, both upstream, inside of, and downstream of the incident area. And fortunately, we have no detections of hydrocarbons. The pH is normal. There is some turbidity. The turbidity is from the incident site itself, plus the couple storms we've had since the incident brought some natural turbidity that combined with the incident site turbidity. And the other thing we've ruled out since I last spoke to you is there are no detection of PCBs, and we've determined that there weren't PCBs in any of the oil that was discharged from the site. I'm going to show you this. It's a video. It's short, but it's kind of a time lapse of Englebright Reservoir in that effort. That's February 20th. That's February 26th. That is yesterday, March 2nd. So you can see both the progress of the cleanup of the material, and you can see the clarity of Englebright progress and get better over time. So I just wanted to show you that that's the effort we have underway. I was made aware late yesterday afternoon that the bulk of that material you see in that picture late yesterday afternoon was all cleaned up. We have removed 72 bins. So these are roll-off type, let's call them garbage bins. They're 20-yard bins. We take them out there on barges. They scoop the material off the water and dump them in the bins. And there were 72 bins removed for a total of 1,440 cubic yards of material. The effort out there will now move from taking those bins, hauling them off, demobilizing that excavator effort, and the final cleanup, which will likely take several more days. But what I'm understanding is within a week or so, we will be off the water and cleanup will be done. And that will be, that determination is made by California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Okay, now on to public information and engagement. I did notify you via email that we have built a dedicated webpage for the incident. All updates that go out in social media are also linked to that webpage. So it's the place to go for the latest information on the incident. We've had continued engagement with the public and media. Generally, we've had positive or neutral support. The media coverage is accurate. And we're very happy with that. I think that's the fact that we've been transparent and we've been telling the public what we know when we know it. So we are maintaining transparency and responsiveness to public comments. And again, I would like to express our gratitude to the community support we're seeing. We get it, personally when we run into folks in the community, but we're also seeing it on our social media sites. So looking ahead, we've gotten through the 18 days following the incident. It's been a lot of work. This is the chaotic immediate response. We're very happy that everyone was accounted for and that the one contractor is now home recovering. That's the best news. We've, I think, done a fairly good job of the cleanup at Englebright, the site assessment to make it safe, the inspection of the Colgate powerhouse itself. However, a significant amount of work remains simply in further assessment of the damage both at the powerhouse and then the root cause analysis assessment that we're conducting. That will take several months. We will need to know that before we know what the specific cause was, and so that we can do the engineering and design for the rebuild. So a lot of work ahead, a lot of assessments. I'll continue to report to this board and the public as we learn more. But we're looking at several months before we have a a better idea of what it will take to return the facility to operation. With that, last item is a reminder to everyone that our dam, New Bullards Bar, was not impacted by this incident. It is 5 miles upstream. Bullards is 5 miles upstream of the Colgate incident site. It is in good shape and continues to operate in coordination with Department of Water Resources and Army Corps of Engineers to reduce flood risk. With that, I will thank you, and if the board has any questions at this time, I'll answer them.
No questions?
Through the chair.
Yep.
Just, Willie, I just want to say thanks again to you and your team for acting swiftly and for the contact throughout the endeavors, seeking feedback and kind of just taking the lead when you could have easily passed this off to somebody else. You could have asked us to employ somebody to handle this and could have asked for that. But we all think that you do a great job, and I'm happy that our local union showed up to make sure that they know, or that we know that they're here for us. And they've been reaching out for the last couple of weeks as well to me personally. And anytime we get a chance to have them leave some literature or leave some business cards is a good opportunity, because they do employ a lot of people in our area and help build the next generation here too. So they have, apprenticeships here locally, and just hope that you guys can make some good contact with them. So.
Thanks, Director House. I will respond to that and add that just the simple wins we're getting at the powerhouse site and assessing those conditions and making the site safe, and just things like opening up ventilation and drying it out and reducing the humidity are small wins for our staff. They remain energized, but I will just say that this is going to be a long-term, daunting effort. So we want to keep them encouraged with those small wins. But thank you for your comments.
Through the chair, I have a comment or a question, Willie. Do you have any indication when we're going to get cleared to actually get somebody down and inspect the penstock and start coming up with a plan?
Yeah. What will happen is we're assembling a team to conduct the root cause analysis. We've been asked by FERC to do that. FERC needs to approve our engineering team that will do that work. What we need to do is we need to get that team assembled and have them tell us what they want to do with that site to make it safe. I mentioned earlier that we have done geotechnical assessments of the hill slope and the road area so that we can get into the powerhouse. But the actual incident site itself is more sensitive, and we need to conduct that in partnership with FERC and the team we assemble to do that forensic work. So that's what we're currently assembling that team now. Once it's approved by FERC, we will get their direction on how to handle that site, and then we can make it safe to do further inspections. Primarily, I think what you're asking about is not just the incident location itself, but immediately downstream, the upper reaches of the penstock. I too am curious about what the condition of the hill slope is there and those pieces of material. But we do need to go through that forensic investigation team to conduct that work.
Thank you.
Any further comments from the board? If not, any public comments? I just want to say, Willie, I'm just amazed that the environmental cleanup is nearly finished and that we're really close to having a road that we can drive down to the power plant, and 2.5 weeks after, such a huge incident, the amount of progress is pretty incredible in my mind. So thank you and all the staff for the efforts.
Thank you. And just not to add on here, but when I made the opening remarks that everything we've done has been in collaboration with people, simply things like starting that road work. We are doing that under emergency permitting conditions, but we are working with the resource agencies that we have established relationships with to check in with them so they know that we're doing things as best we can to protect the environment, to make it safe for our staff. And they know the importance of us being able to get in there and analyze the facility. So all those relationships are going really, really well. I'm just saying this so you know that we're not just, now that we have emergency conditions, which you will now consider voting on to continue, we're still doing things to the best of our ability to protect the environment and keep things safe for people.
Okay, great. Then if there's no further discussion, we're ready for a motion on item 3.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You need roll call on that, Mandy? No. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. So we're going to move on to item 4, consider approval of resolution number 2026-11, delegating authority concerning action on Government Claims Act claims related to the Colgate Penstock and tunnel outage and 2026 Colgate Penstock incident. Andrew.
Good morning, Chair, Bishop, and directors. As background, it's expected in significant events like the one that we've had that the agency may receive claims from third parties who allege that they've been injured. Typically, these claims come to the board for review, both in closed session, where we have a discussion of the claims, as well as an open session for approval or rejection. Resolution 2026-11 would delegate authority to the general manager to review and act on certain claims that arise out of the tunnel outage project and the Penstock incident that we've been discussing. Specifically, the resolution would authorize a general manager to settle any claim up to $10,000 or reject any claim regardless of the stated value that's related to these incidents. Delegation is authorized by the Government Claims Act, Section 935.4, and our interest in doing this is to expedite the claims process as we're working with legal counsel as well as our insurance company to make sure that all claims are heard and processed in a timely manner. General manager would also be directed to report back to the board as he takes action on claims, likely in future closed sessions. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the resolution.
On? No? Okay, got me. Through the chair. So there's been a news article, and I even got a phone call from the truck driver that the truck was down there. So would this be something that we could approve immediately? Because the poor guy's without income.
As Director Messick, the gentleman that you are discussing has submitted a claim. We forwarded it to our insurance company, and it's my understanding that the insurance company is in contact with him and working with him right now.
Okay. But would this be something that could expedite that?
So typically for these items, there is a process. It does take time. It's unfortunately not as fast as anyone would like for these types of things, but this is something we'd look at in coordination with the insurance company.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further? Any public comment? See none, I'm ready for a motion.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Willie, we're ready for a manager's report.
Okay, so you basically already got the presentation of things we've been focusing on the last couple of weeks, but I will generally report on other agency stuff. The New Bullard's Bar is at 1,923.96, almost 1,924 feet in elevation. We are encroached like 24,000 acre feet into the flood pool with the Army Corps of Engineers approval. That's based on early snow runoff from this last warm storm we got. The water year is shaping up to be slightly less than average. The snowpack, I think, is at 58%. Not great, but given the elevation of Bullard's right now, we do have water to get through this year. It doesn't appear to turn out to be a significant drought year, but it's also not a banner year. With that, most of the maintenance crew and staff have been focused on the incident response, but they're continuing to operate. Obviously, Narrows 1 and Narrows 2, they're still online. They're at full load. We continue to check on those units. Eagle Bright is spilling around 3,000 CFS. And given the warm temperatures we have, you're seeing snow melt happen now. And so Eagle Bright will likely spill for several more weeks. Bullard's is also spilling to just maintain the flood pool encroachment. That will decrease over the next couple of weeks, but Eagle Bright will continue to spill. The weather outlook, there might be some slight system today, less than a quarter inch today and tomorrow. But after that, it looks dry. So we're getting into the tail end of what we would consider our precipitation and snowpack buildup period. So it doesn't mean we won't have more storms, doesn't mean we won't have a late March miracle. But given where we are now, I think we'll be okay for water supply this season. Normally, I would give you a detailed report on our communications team and the engagement they've had with the community, but 99.9% of what they've been doing for 18 days has been response to the incident. Like I mentioned in my presentation, the media coverage seems to be accurate, and we're happy with that, and our response and comments are either neutral or positive. So I think things are going as good as they can from a communication standpoint. The last thing I'd like to say is we have two birthdays today. One is Director John Messick, happy birthday, and then Bonnie of our comms team, who's here. It is also her birthday. So. Yeah. I didn't know Bonnie was in her 60s.
Neither am I.
Okay, with that, our next upcoming meeting is March 17th. We'll have another regular board meeting.
Thank you, Willie. We'll start board comments with the birthday boy down there.
I wasn't ready. I really want to thank you guys for all dressing up for my birthday. I'm excited to get a picture of us all with jackets on, and most of us with ties. Gary, I have one in my office if you want to throw it on.
I might take you up on that.
Birthday twin, happy birthday. So I really don't have anything other than the Buckeye 5-10K runs coming up, and I really kind of wanted to assemble a Yuba Water Agency team so we could have a big team, but if anybody wants to participate with me, I'll be running, and Seth will be running with me. Yeah, he knows it. That's it.
Okay, Charlie. Gary.
Jackie, thank you so much for your service to the community, your service to the agency. I know you're not really going anywhere, but you'll still be greatly missed not being around full time. So thank you. And just thanks to our employees for your incredible response and dedication to this community and this agency as well. I'm not at all surprised, but I am impressed. And so thank you all. And then finally, Friday, I'll be at the NACWA annual meeting in Chico.
Gary, Andy.
We're an aging director, retired, and we're in the process of looking for a new one. Doesn't create any problems, but it solves a lot of problems that they've been having. And that's pretty much it. Thanks to staff for its professionalism and skill, talents necessary to make this not a big problem to the public. Thank you very much.
Rennick?
Yeah, just again, a huge congratulations to Jackie. I'm happy you get to cut loose from here and have some more time to volunteer. But Willie, I just want to say the staff is so awesome getting as far through this as they can and being flexible, because I know it's hard to navigate. Keeping their emotions at bay and wonder, because they're all wondering what we're going to do for the next 2 years. You know, these are power plant operators and electricians, and they probably think that everything's going to get contracted out. But I'm just happy to hear that we're rolling with the punches, keeping everybody in their expertise and letting them guide the work, the repair work and planning and things like that. So thanks to the team. Last week I went to NACO. It was kind of timely. That's the National Association of Counties legislative conference where we met with lawmakers and congressmen, different agencies, EPA, a couple other smaller agencies too. But I was able to sit in on a emergency management day where we spent a whole day talking about emergency contracts, emergency situation management, and it was put on by some of the people out of some of the North Carolina counties that were hit pretty hard by a hurricane and flooding, and to see where they went in a year and a half from not knowing what to do, not having any resources to rebuilding their whole region. It's just, it gives me some hope for what we got ahead of us. So yeah. And then last week I was also able to sit down with the Yuba River Endowment, watch the Marysville FFA kids give a presentation on all the things that they're learning and doing. So I just want to say I think it's good that we continue to engage with the public and keep doing what we can to be part of the community, even through all these tough times, not having a financial understanding of what's going to go forward. And then those farmers just do such good work, and we got to keep them in mind as we make decisions on things that could affect water delivery or anything else in the future. So just thank you guys.
Thanks, Rennick. Seth?
Thank you, Jackie, for your service. And so the reason for the funeral suit, now I understand. All right, thanks.
I think my only comment today, I've said a lot over the last couple of weeks, I feel like, but I think the reason that we're able to respond so well and so fast is, and you know, get the recovery started on this was the preparedness that that our general manager and full staff have. And I think I'd want to single out the communications team today because they have just been doing incredible work. And they obviously had relationships established over the years that helped. But I don't know if I've ever been involved in anything where the media reports were this accurate. And that doesn't happen without a good communications team and the media's trust in this agency that we're being transparent. And we are. And, you know, we're releasing all the information that we can release publicly. And you know, the fact that they trust us and know that we're doing that and are reporting accurately is a result of the work that's been done for years. So thanks to the communications team in particular today. And with that, we are going to move into closed session. We have a couple of items. I don't think there will be anything to report out of that. And we're going to take a quick break for a picture for John.
Recording stopped.
This week on Yuba-Sutter.LIVE, lots of live streams, beginning with Government Watch. At 6 o'clock Tuesday, Marysville City Council, and the 6 o'clock Tuesday Yuba City Council meetings, with lots of important items on the agenda. Government Watch, presented as a public service by
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. It's the truth that comes through. Yuba-Sutter.LIVE. It's the truth that comes through.